This motion is a disgrace. Point after point of dog whistles. I don't believe that the rural independents don't know exactly what they're doing here. You all know well that you're pandering to the far right, stoking up divisions, spreading fear, and complete misinformation. And in doing so, putting a target on the backs of migrants and asylum seekers for the sake of a few votes. You should be ashamed of yourselves. The idea that a group would submit a motion on asylum seekers while failing to have a basic understanding of the process is astounding. The motion states that there is a lack of an objective mechanism to distinguish genuine, ungenuine, legal or illegal asylum seekers. Deputies, what do you think the International Protection Office does? The IP process is an objective determination, the terms of which are set out in the International Protection Act 2015. I'd suggest that you read it. Granting refugee status does not happen on the first day someone arrives in Ireland seeking protection. It is a complex legal process which can take months or years. Any person who wishes to seek protection in Ireland has to arrive physically in Ireland and make an application for refugee status. Once that application has been accepted, they are classed as an asylum seeker. There is no such thing as an illegal asylum seeker. Every single one is in this country legally. Saying otherwise in this motion, in this House, and in your constituencies is inflammatory and it is wrong. There are many, many flaws in our IP system. Direct provision is a cruel, inhumane system that is unfit for purpose. It takes far too long for people to receive refugee status that allows them to live a normal life in Ireland, and some decisions on asylum applications taken by the IPO have been appalling. There are a lot of real problems in the system, and instead of debating those issues today, we are debating absolute nonsense. There are 4 references to single males in this motion. There's been a lot of scaremongering around the idea of single military-aged men seeking protection in Ireland. There are very real reasons why many asylum seekers are men. Because families in dangerous situations have to make incredibly difficult decisions about who leaves first. Most cannot afford to send anyone, and all they know is the path to safety is dangerous. Often, it's a very physical journey, walking for miles and miles, crossing seas with significant risk of violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. Families send those who they feel are most likely to reach safety. Most often, these are their fathers, their brothers, and their sons, all making the perilous journey to find safety so that they can someday provide a lifeline for their family. Deputy Danny Healy-Rae on several occasions in this House has suggested that women and girls in Killarney and Muckross are in danger from these men. Let us be very clear. There is no link between asylum seekers and crime. Hear, hear. That is the case here, and it is the case internationally. Some asylum seekers do in fact come from countries that are classed as a safe country of origin. That classification does not mean that the country is safe for everyone. Asylum seekers are not just fleeing war. They are members of the LGBT community, women's rights activists, members of political groups and trade unionists. The international protection process doesn't determine anyone's refugee status on the basis of their country of origin. Everyone is assessed individually, and they should be. Minister O'Gorman's announcement this week that international protection applicants would no longer be housed but be handed an extra €75 and a tent is an absolute indictment of this government and this state, and it is a failure to meet our responsibilities under the Reception Conditions Directive. The Business Post reported yesterday that the Minister had begun to gauge interest in the building of modular housing for Ukrainian refugees. This is the second time this year that people seeking sanctuary in Ireland will be out on the streets. And the Minister is gauging interest only now. Where is the urgency? Where is the planning? Where is the Minister for Housing? who has a plan to restrict access to homeless accommodation to non-residents. It's already sub-zero. Vulnerable people seeking sanctuary with no friends or family to rely on are going to be freezing on our streets. It is absolutely disgraceful for the Minister for Housing to proposing checking residency cards at the door for people to come in and out of the cold. We need additional facilities. We need them months ago. But vacant houses and public buildings are sitting empty across the country, and several facilities earmarked for accommodation have been abandoned due to local opposition. Let me be very clear. No one has a veto over who lives in their community. By bowing to this pressure, the government is emboldening these protests. And by refusing to engage with communities in the first place, the government creates an information vacuum, which the far right is only too happy to fill. Minister O'Gorman's department must reach out to communities with information and engage, not consult, but listen and address people's concerns. If people are worried about GP services and school places, all of these should be within the government's ability to address. Capacity can always be increased in these services, and having more people in the community in need of services actually increases the argument for doing so. Lost in these debates on immigration is the value of inclusion. I would appeal to people who hear the language used by the rural independents today or to far-right groups online and feel somewhat sympathetic. Do not believe the voices who want you to fear migrants, who question their legality, who tell you that they give nothing to Ireland. The work of countless organisations, groups and individuals across Ireland day after day show the value of immigrants and asylum seekers and what they've brought to Ireland. They are our friends, they are our families, they are our loved ones. Our teachers, our nurses, our builders. They are organisations like Sanctuary Runners, restaurants like Is Cafe in Cork City. They make our culture and our communities richer. They provide employment, keep public services and businesses afloat, bring new life to our towns, our villages, our rural areas and our cities. Our society is stronger together than we are apart. We cannot allow divisions to grow in our communities, to become suspicious of our neighbours. We have to be clear in our values as a nation. We value diversity, we value human rights, we value communities, we value immigration.